Welcome to A Slice with Dice, a place for honest conversations about the realities of education. I'm Corey Alderdice, Executive Director of the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. I've spent nearly 2 decades navigating the joys, challenges, and unexpected moments that come with leading schools. Each week, I'll share what works, what doesn't, and everything in between when it comes to igniting the full potential of our communities. I'm excited to share this journey with you, so let's get started. We're diving into a topic that hits home for so many gifted and talented students: comparisons. Now, if you've ever felt that pang of self-doubt when you see someone else excel or worried that your best efforts might not measure up, well, this one's for you. Today we're exploring how to turn those comparisons into inspiration, how to make them a tool for growth rather than a trap for disencouragement. Let's start with a scenario that many of you might recognize. You've always been the top student, the one everyone looks to for the answers, the one who seems to breeze through challenges. But then, high school happens. You walk into a gifted program, an honors course, maybe even a specialized school like ASMSA, and suddenly you're surrounded by peers who are just as talented, or even more so. Someone's a math prodigy. Someone else can play 3 instruments flawlessly. Another has started their own nonprofit. And there you are, wondering if you're still special, still worthy. This is where Rick Hanson's book, Resilient, comes into play. Hanson talks about the concept of resilience as building inner strength, and he outlines strategies for navigating life's challenges with both grace and confidence. One of the core areas in the book is rewiring your brain to focus on positive experiences rather than getting stuck in the negative. For gifted students, this idea is gold because the comparisons that feel so painful often stem from focusing on what we think we lack rather than celebrating what we bring to the table. So what does this look like in real life? Well, first, it's about recognizing that comparisons are natural. Our brains are wired to notice differences. It's a survival mechanism that's been around since our ancestors had to decide if the person in the cave next over was a threat. But in modern life, this mechanism can trick us up, especially in environments where excellence is the norm. For gifted students, seeing someone else succeed can feel like a spotlight on their own insecurities. The key is to catch yourself in that moment of comparison and ask a very simple question. What can I learn from this? Let's say you're in a science class and a classmate aces a lab that left you scratching your head. Instead of falling into the trap of thinking, I'm not as smart as they are, you could reframe it. What did they do differently? How can I apply that to my own approach next time? It's a subtle shift, but it turns a potentially deflating moment into an opportunity for growth. Now, Hanson's HEAL, H-E-A-L framework is particularly useful here. Remember, HEAL stands for have, enrich, absorb, and link. Now, when you notice a positive experience, like finally understanding a tricky concept or getting praise for your effort, don't let it just slide by. You stay with it. You let yourself feel the success. You enrich it by thinking about why it's meaningful, and you absorb it by really letting it sink in. This helps counterbalance the brain's natural negativity bias, which often makes those moments of comparison feel heavier than they actually are. And then there's the linking part. This is where you connect the dots between the successes you see in others and your own potential. Instead of seeing a peer's achievement as something that diminishes your own, you can see it as evidence of what's possible. If they can do it, maybe you can too, but in your own unique way. And this doesn't mean copying their path. It means letting their success spark ideas for your own journey. Let's talk about identity for a moment, because this is another area where comparisons can really sting. Many gifted students build their sense of self around being the best. When that identity is challenged, it can feel like the ground is shifting beneath them. But here's the thing, your worth isn't tied to being better than someone else. It's tied to being the best version of yourself. It's about giving your best. And that's not just a feel-good platitude, it's a mindset that frees you to focus on growth rather than competition. Think about it this way. If you're always looking sideways to see what others are doing, you're not looking ahead at where you're going. Comparisons can narrow your focus to the point where you lose sight of your own goals. By shifting your attention inward and asking, what matters to me? What am I passionate about? What do I want to achieve? You take back control of the narrative. And let's not forget the role of gratitude here. Hanson emphasizes the importance of gratitude in building resilience, and it's especially powerful in moments of comparison. When you catch yourself envying a peer's success, again, try flipping the script. What are you grateful for in your own life? What strengths and opportunities do you have that others might envy in you? Gratitude isn't about ignoring the hard stuff, but it is about balancing the scales so that the good stuff gets its due. And finally, let's talk about community. Gifted students can often feel isolated, even in environments where they are surrounded by peers. But what if we saw those peers not as competitors, but as collaborators and cheerleaders? Everyone in the room has something to teach, and everyone has something to learn. When you view others' successes as resources rather than threats, you create a community where everyone can thrive. Imagine how much stronger you'd feel if you knew your peers were rooting for you, just as you're rooting for them. So here's the takeaway. Comparisons are inevitable, but they don't have to be destructive. By reframing them as opportunities for inspiration, by focusing on your own growth, and by building a sense of gratitude and community, you can turn what feels like a weakness into a strength. You can become resilient, not in spite of your peers, but because of them. A Slice with Dice is a production of the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. I hope today's reflection sparked some thoughts for your own journey. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. Let's keep learning and leading together. Until next time, keep striving for growth and excellence. Thanks for tuning in.